Game 2 between the Rockets and Lakers was an up and down affair with two huge swings back and forth. LeBron and AD led their team to a 19-point lead through the first 21 minutes of the game, and James Harden ignited his Rockets to blow them out by 20 points over a 15-minute stretch right after that. While the Lakers were able to even the series, utilizing their size advantage to great effect, it's the Rockets who are left to ponder the what-if scenario, as they felt compelled to play one of their stars too long, costing them their shot at a 2-0 lead and maybe the entire series. The Lakers had done a good job playing to their strength with Anthony Davis's overwhelming size advantage, and Game 2 was no exception, as PJ Tucker simply can't do anything on a turnaround like this while being 6 or 7 inches shorter. The Lakers utilized the AD LeBron handoff out of the corner to force a switch of Daniel House onto Davis down low. Despite the double team, he scores easily, turning over the right shoulder. On the same action here, the Rockets do not switch it, but they just catch Tucker fronting, and it's an easy spin and lob for the dunk. There are times when James Harden will have to match up with Davis down low, and despite Harden's good reputation as a post defender, there's no way he's stopping AD. PJ Tucker had some success against AD with his physicality in Game 1, but yesterday, even that wasn't working, as AD ripped through in front of Tucker's face before hopping back over the right shoulder for a clean look that dropped straight through the net. This seemed to be the move Davis preferred against Tucker, who again makes him catch the ball farther from the hoop than he wanted, but AD uses the rip through in front of Tucker's face to get closer before turning over the right shoulder and rising up without fear of the shorter Tucker shot challenge. It's all too easy for the Lakers to have Davis set a ball screen to force a switch and get Tucker off of him, and then abuse House down low. The adjustment has to be an immediate double team and force Davis into doing something he's not great at, passing out of the post. Rajon Rondo was a game-high plus 28 in the plus-minus department, and his vision and passing accuracy were on full display as Danny Green cuts through along the baseline, but keep your eye on Eric Gordon. Concerned about the AD post-up on Covington, he allows himself to get way out of position, and without any pressure on Rondo, he can literally fake pass to the first, second, and then third option before Green lets Gordon fly by and hit the corner jumper. On this step-up screen by LeBron, you'll see Jeff Green correctly rotate over as the lowest man on defense, and it's Russ's job to split the difference between the two weak-side shooters and close out to the first pass. That doesn't happen, but check the no-look fake pass by Rondo, and Morris gets one of his 4 threes on the night completely wide open. And that brings us to one Russell Westbrook. Had you watched the game live, you would have heard the announcers describe this as a bad game for him, and that would be putting it mildly, particularly because there are subtle things you might have missed that I'm about to show you. Like in my Game 1 breakdown, where I pointed out LeBron and AD simply weren't doing enough to make plays defensively, Russ was even worse than those two in this game, and what's frustrating was that he probably had no idea on some of these as they were happening. One thing I'd like to point out with the Rockets defense, they like to have the defender on the strong side corner get into early help position. The problem is, Russ is one pass away, and allowing Danny Green to have this many feet of space when he begins the shot is simply a wide open look for him. While Westbrook had some success driving on LeBron in Game 1, a double pump lefty twisting reverse off the glass would not be what I would have chosen on this drive, and it leads to a fast break. Everyone in the Rockets gets back in good position except for Russ, who simply has to see that Morris is his man earlier and get over there to prevent a wide open 3. His live ball turnovers were also devastating to the Rockets, as he just dribbles it off his leg here and ignites another Lakers fast break. While the other Rockets stop the initial attack, Russ again is way late picking up Morris, but then watch what he does, just letting him go to the hoop so LeBron can throw this absolutely fantastic one-touch pass. Now, I'm glad we got to admire this pass for its timing and accuracy, but it should never have happened had Russ just done the simple thing of staying between your man and the basket. Now, Russ got into severe foul trouble early, racking up 5 fouls before the end of the third, and in his defense, 2 of these against LeBron were very suspect, but it is what it is. On this play, Rondo catches Russ not processing the visual information in front of him as Russ knocks him over, and the review confirms that it was a charge and just a bad turnover at a key moment of the game. So the Lakers smartly go at Russ, trying to foul him out. Why was he even in the game is mystifying to me, especially if this is what he's going to do while guarding LeBron. To start the fourth, Russ is still in despite his defensive woes and foul trouble, indicating that he must be dictating his own minutes. Russ desperately calls for Covington to get into better position to help early, but you still cannot be turned this much and allow a straight line drive to the hoop. It's a terrible look for Russ to throw up his hands in exasperation when he simply needed to be in better position himself. The Lakers decided to show some mercy and didn't force Russ onto LeBron here, but they picked on him anyway as he allows his man to catch the ball near the top of the key and just lay it in. In a key playoff game where you're about to take complete control of a series as the underdog, you can't afford to have this kind of defense. Like a scab, the Lakers continued to pick. They forced a switch to get Russ guarding Rondo, and we're all familiar with Rondo's shooting issues. But if you give any NBA player 8 feet of space and 3 dribbles in place from 15 feet away, they're going to make this shot a lot. Eric Gordon was fantastic for the Rockets all game, and this was his only turnover. But just watch Russ and his effort. If he's not going to sprint and use his awesome athletic ability to, who knows, maybe break this lob up, then he needs to sit on the bench. Here's another inexcusable transition back to defense for Westbrook. He's the fastest guy in the NBA. You don't think he could have sprinted as fast as Anthony Caruso to stop this layup? The Rockets aren't trying to blow anyone out. They simply want to have at least one more point than their opponent when the buzzer sounds. And they'll gladly give up all the AD post-ups over smaller players if they can outscore the Lakers by 10 three-pointers. Over the last 3 seasons, teams that do that are 222 and 28. The 28th being last night, as LA took advantage of Russ's poor play on both ends of the floor. The Rockets did it by utilizing Harden's gravity, like this pick and roll that sucks 2 defenders to him. The short roll is open, the Lakers defended this properly, but they still give House 10 feet of space as he begins the shot for a wide open 3. I had suggested last summer that Harden post up more, and the Rockets have been doing this, catching Morris sleeping on the weak side with both feet in the lane. Look how many feet Covington has as he begins his shot, and it's an easy knockdown. The Lakers can't afford to have miscommunication picking up their men, especially after they score a basket. Danny Green, Alex Caruso, and Markieff Morris are guarding 2 Rocket players, and it leaves AD all by himself to guard 2 guys. This kind of breakdown triggers full scramble mode, and the Rockets are a team that will punish you until they find the open shooter, as Eric Gordon can lick his thumb and check the wind, he's so wide open on this triple. The Rockets want to attack Davis with Harden as much as possible, so they force the switch quickly, and Harden is a master at breaking down his man in isolation, drawing multiple defenders and help, then hook passing 35 feet on the money to the opposite corner before the closeout can get there. Russ sneaks up on AD for a great steal to get the Rockets going back down court. I don't know what Dion Waiters is doing. Is he guarding Russ? Is he guarding Harden? Neither is the answer, and now the Rockets will again put you through the blender in full scramble mode. Now, go back to the moment of the turnover and check where LeBron is. As we go back down the court to the Rockets side, you'll see it takes him 8 seconds just to appear on the screen. Where he's running, I have no idea, but he rounds second heading for home as Eric Gordon is knocking down another wide open jumper. And Russ makes a good play here by attacking Green early to force AD to help and leave a wide open shooter in the corner. The rotation should have been by McGee to cover the shooter, but sadly, he's completely unaware of the ball the whole way back down the court, and he simply won't get more than 8 minutes doing things like this. And the Lakers are clearly trying to protect certain players like Caruso when they find themselves guarding Harden. Sending a second player here opens up a 3-on-2 on the left side, and while Green is jogging for several steps, the ball is whipped to the corner for another wide open 3. The Lakers got the win, but they should feel very fortunate that they overcame a 30-point deficit from behind the arc. That probably won't happen again. So unless they want to bank on an all-time bad game from Russ 3 more times, it's unclear to me how they win this series defending the three-pointer like they have been. Of course, the Lakers can balance that out by hitting more threes themselves, but at the cost of all those impressive-looking post moves from AD. To pick a winner in this series is a very tough call because the styles are so different and volatile. But from what I've seen in the first 2 games, I have to pick the Rockets to advance to the conference finals. If you like this video, click the thumbs up button and leave a comment. And don't forget to subscribe for more playoff breakdowns coming up. We'll have at least one a day during the postseason, so turn on those notifications so you can be alerted right away. You in?